Hi there, I'm Tomix, and this is Elad,
Hey.
and we are going to listen to the newest episode of the Amelia Project called Walter. I have been waiting for this episode for a year now, because exactly a year ago, last March, I was offered to play the part of Walter, which I am super, super, super excited about because the Amelia Project is a podcast that I've loved for years, and it's the reason I got into voice acting in the first place. So managing to land a role on it, I think like a year, less than a year after I got into voice acting, it just blew my mind. And I am here with two cups of cocoa. One of which is Malteser's cocoa, which I can't find the packaging for, but yep. And the other one is a normal one because Malteser's hot cocoa is not super great. But you know, I also have actual Maltesers and a bunch of other stuff. And neither of us have heard this episode yet.
Nope.
I only heard the lines when I was recording them. And we are going to basically be reacting to them. The episode officially comes out tomorrow, but yeah. I got a little preview file, and I am so stoked.
Can you tell us anything about it, about the experience?
I think it'll be better to talk about that afterwards because I don't want to give any spoilers or anything.
Spoilers. We don't like spoilers.
Spoilers. All right,
Okay.
so here we go. Hey, Future Tomix here. I should probably give some context for what it is we're listening to for those unfamiliar with the show. The Amelia Project is a fantastic comedy podcast about a company that helps people fake their deaths. Link is in the description if you want to give it a try. I fully recommend it. This video will include spoilers for Season 4 of the show, so keep watching at your own risk. It starts with two MI5 agents, Cole and Haynes, who have tried to hunt down and locate employees of the Amelia Project without much success. Let's begin.
Enjoy the show.
Okay, let's enjoy the show.
Fuck. Fuckity, fuck.
I'm not doing this.
There's no other option, Cole. His case is dead as a dodo. Or rather, dead as Kozlowski. He's about to be
I
cremated.
still can't believe he died on us.
I know. The stories he could have told us.
We could ask Northcott for an extension.
We've already done that. All our leads have either disappeared or died. Come on. Yeah. Well, it's been quite the ride.
I mean, I'll probably still see you around the building, and then, you know, we could still meet for coffee, you know, now and then, if you want, or tea.
Coco?
Or, I mean, it's up to you.
Yeah, here we are. Northcott's office. You knock?
You knock.
Okay, I'll knock. 1, 2,
Stop.
3. What?
Give me the file.
And you haven't held it.
Hey! What are you doing? I put everything in the right order. Don't mess it up. You'll make Northcott hate us even more than she already does, if that's even possible.
The autopsy report. Where's Kozlowski's autopsy report?
Last page. Cole, we've been over everything a dozen times.
Got it. There was always something bugging me, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it.
What?
The name
What name?
on the autopsy report.
Piotr Kozlowski.
No. The name of the pathologist.
Walter Gurvich.
Does that name mean anything to you?
Gurvich?
Think.
Walter Gurvich.
I don't know. Not really. Does it mean anything to you?
I need to check something.
Hey! Where are you going?
Back to the office. Come with me.
theme song so much. And this is the theme to my episode.
Are you Walter? You're Walter's minion.
The Amelia Project. Created by Philip Thorne and Øystein Braga, with music and sound direction by Frederick Barden. Design by Dominic Hargreaves.
Cheers to all of them.
Episode 51.
I'm blushing.
The old tapes.
Steve, remember this one?
The guy who escaped the gas explosion? Yeah, that was ages ago.
You didn't blow up that building?
Jesus fucking Christ, of course not.
So you didn't want to disappear?
Fuck no!
Right, let's go forward a bit.
Alvina? Fine. And you?
That's an old episode.
Good. Listen,
Sounded like
I need Walter from the morgue to send over a body ASAP. No? No? No specific requirements. The first one he has available. Scrabble tonight?
You heard that, right?
Okay, see you then. Bye.
Play it again.
Oh, Scrabble. The Alvina archives.
And you? Good. Listen,
You're right.
I need
Yeah.
Walter from the morgue to send over a body ASAP.
They released...
Need Walter from the morgue.
Yes.
It's one mention of a Walter several years ago.
But there are others.
Okay.
Here.
It's taken me 3 hours to fix the engine, and now the replacement corpse in the trunk has started to smell, so I have to go all the way back to Walter to get another one.
There it is again, right? And remember the one with all the reject?
These are actual excerpts from the show.
They were planning this.
I think it's even mentioned in the first episode. I could be wrong.
Well, right here.
Impressive either way.
That's that sorted then.
Good timing, actually. Kozlowski needs a replacement corpse for the Langsbury disappearance, and Walter at the morgue can't get one till tomorrow.
Good. Shall we bring him straight to the basement then? Yes, you know, that's a very good point, Alvina. Hey, on the upside, the journey across the Atlantic was a riot. I invited Walter from the morgue. He was hanging from the chandeliers, downing mojitos and singing Wrecking Ball.
Well, we must be able to find him on some of the more recent ones, too.
They've even invited Walter from the morgue. He's doing suppositories in the corner, and I was not going to ask what was in them.
I think his last name is from the morgue. Walter. Walter from the morgue.
He's holding it to my ear, bless him. Amelia, do you have any soap?
Soup?
I don't remember the context for that one.
Could just be a coincidence.
I mean, they don't mention a surname, do they? Just Walter.
They have a Walter in
Charge
And
of
he's
corpses and Kozlowski's
from the
office was
morgue.
conducted
by a Walter. It's not a coincidence.
So you think the autopsy report was faked? You think Kozlowski isn't really dead?
It's possible.
Right. Change of plan. We're not going to Northcott. Not yet. She said she wants the file on her desk by 6, right? That gives us 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yes. So we're going to St. Thomas Hospital?
No time. Toss me the phone. I'll call the head of forensics.
All right.
You don't have to, like, intentionally react. כאילו, let it be natural.
Naturally אני נוהג. כזה.
Ringing.
Good.
Spencer? Hi. Haynes here. Yeah, good. Here's the thing. We've got questions about a report that came in yesterday. I was hoping to speak to the pathologist who conducted the autopsy. It's Walter Gervich. I don't care. This is important.
Hand me the sugar llamas.
No, I can't wait until tomorrow. Well, then you'd better give me his personal number, hadn't you?
This package is noisy, never mind.
Chop chop.
Two.
This is an order.
Later.
Thanks, Spencer. Apparently, Walter only works night shifts, but I've got his personal number.
What are you going to say?
Shh. It's ringing.
Don't you think we should discuss a plan?
Walter? Yes, hello. Henry Hicks speaking.
It's like almost your part.
I'm the new
Not yet.
explosives expert for Amelia. Yeah.
They're knocking on the door.
Well, they've been keeping a low profile since the, anyway, they want us to collaborate on the Sugden disappearance. Oh, you haven't heard about that? I guess I'd better update you then. No, of course not. Of course. Yes, I understand. The code word? Yes. That would be...
Cocoa. Bubbles. Cocoa.
Maltesers.
Nice.
No, of course. Can't be too careful. Speaking of which, I'm not sure this line is secure. Could we meet face to face? Yes. Yes. That's an option. Or we could... Yes, of course. Hello? Hello?
He hung up.
Yes.
Did he suggest a meeting place?
Yes.
Oh, thank God. Where?
Covent Garden.
Well, where in Covent Garden?
Just Covent Garden.
Covent Garden is huge.
It's like a park.
It's a neighborhood.
What do we do?
Oh. Go to Covent Garden and look for a Walter Gurvich. Ready, Cole?
Ready?
Like an up and up neighborhood or
Yeah, it's kind of touristy. There's like the area of actual Covent Garden, but like the whole neighborhood is called that.
Covent Garden. What now?
Oh, watch the crowd.
There must be over 1,000 people here.
We have to think. What does an undercover employee of the Amelia Project look like?
That's just easy. Could be anyone. Could be that gent with a three-piece suit. Or that punk with a purple mohawk.
Look, that guy over by the ice cream stand.
The one with the Pink Floyd t-shirt.
No, the one with the denim jacket drinking from a thermos.
Yeah? What about him?
Could be Coco.
Or coffee. Or tea. I mean, what about that toddler over there? He's got a cup. Sippy cup.
Ah, very funny. You got a better idea?
No. Wait, who suggests meeting at Covent Garden without a location? That's bonkers.
He probably thought I'd been briefed and would know what he looks like. Or maybe they'd have a regular meeting place around here.
What do you think? It's one of the busiest squares in London. Could call him again.
Oh, I don't want to make him suspicious.
I could call from my number. We could try to spot someone answering a call.
Good idea. Here's the number.
Right. Let's see. Right.
Okay.
It's calling.
If you're not on the other side of the
Almost
line.
everyone has their phones out. I think it might actually be easier to spot somebody without a phone.
Fuck.
Good juggler, though. Can you juggle, Cole?
What?
Dougie can. When we were stationed down in Cornwall, we worked on a passing routine. Got pretty good, actually. Yeah. We were in Port Isaac waiting for a dinghy smuggling homemade weapons into the UK. Turned out to be a scam, but it gave us plenty of time to juggle. Under the leg, behind the back.
Haynes,
Yeah?
see that bloke on a bench by the Starbucks?
What bench? You mean the tan bloke with his arm around a girl?
No.
Or the old guy smoking a cigar? Or... Oh...
You spotted him.
What the fuck?
Right.
A red and white t-shirt, glasses, and a fucking bobble hat?
You think that's our man?
Walter. Wally. You think?
Bubble
Let's go
hat?
over and talk to him.
Let's.
What's a bubble hat?
Kovapunpon.
Oh.
Hello.
You spotted me! Well done, Henry Hicks.
Yes. And this is my assistant, Charlie Cook.
You must be Walter.
You can call me Wally. Or Waldo. That's my nickname in the US. Either works.
Right.
You, always dressed like that?
Whenever I'm not at work. Do you like this place?
Covent Garden?
It's a bit,
It's a great place to people watch. And then every now and then someone spots me and smiles. I like that.
Strange hobby.
More than a hobby, an obsession really. When I visit a city, I always go straight to the busiest place. Times Square, New York, Las Ramblas in Barcelona, Potsdamer Platz in Berlin, Piazza San Marco in Venice.
those are the places I avoid.
Why?
Well, I prefer to, get off the beaten track, see something real,
You're not looking properly.
Excuse me?
If you learn how to observe crowds, it's the squares, piazzas, train stations, and shopping malls that are the most interesting. Take Covent Garden. This sprawl of tourists, pickpockets,
This is
jugglers,
you.
fire
This is-
breathers, bankers, beggars, opera goers, and ice cream sellers. There are 100 stories happening right here, and we can zero in on any one of them.
I was just saying to Charlie, the juggler is quite something.
That juggler's an obvious one. But have you noticed the toddler doing ballet moves by the arcades while her parents are staring at their phones? She's quite the prodigy. Or that businessman outside the Apple store? He's wearing his suit jacket inside out.
My hand shaking.
And look, that woman carrying skis under her arm. Where could she be going? See that girl filming herself? She ought to watch her step. She's about to step into a big heap of dog. Oh, too late. I wonder what the living statue and magician are arguing about. Looks heated.
I love the energy.
What on earth is that bearded bloke eating? That's the biggest pretzel I've ever seen.
There's someone throwing paper aeroplanes from the balcony of the Opera House.
You see, once you focus, you can spot all sorts of things. Sometimes I arrive at the crack of dawn when the street cleaners are hosing down the cobbles in their fluorescent vests. I watch the shopkeepers roll up the shutters and the square comes to life. Playing children, arguing parents, stressed tourists, stone students.
I did.
I stay late into the evening when the elegant crowds spill out of the opera house. Eventually, it's just me and a few drunks again. Over the course of 24 hours, I experienced so many stories. Comedy, tragedy, farce, love stories.
There's always time for a story.
I see you've had the induction.
Speaking of which, what's your story, Walter? How did you come to the Amelia Project?
I'm just gonna pause here for a second.
Yes.
I barely even had to act for that part.
Yeah.
Remember when I told you, long before I was cast for this role, that like it was after I saw a movie about like the afterlife and how like every person would have like a tailor-made heaven like specifically for what they like. Okay. And I told you that my personal heaven would be one of those hyper detailed drawings that you can just keep delving into all the details about. So like seeing that in the script, I was like, yes.
Was the link you sent me to that Reddit, was that a clue?
It wasn't a clue. It was something I came across as a result. It was a r/Wimmelbilder, which is a bunch of really hyper detailed drawings. However, I will say this. So a year ago, I come here with this, the Maltesers hot chocolate packet. Which I bought from an import store because they don't typically sell those here. Mm-hmm. And that was the day I told you that I got a role on the Amelia Project.
Yes.
And I was so excited, and I couldn't tell you anything about it.
And I did ask.
Yeah, and as soon as I met you, I go into your room, and the first thing I notice on your bookshelf is that book. First thing I see.
Is that mine?
This is yours.
This is my copy?
Yeah, I snuck it out of the room while you were troubleshooting the microphone.
That's clever.
And I was
because I moved 5 houses since he saw this book. So
no. I mean, I snuck it out of your room just now.
I know, but you said when you first met me, you saw this.
That was still here.
You first met me when I lived with parents.
No, not when I first met you. When I met you to tell you about the role.
Oh,
dork. So anyway, I go in to tell you about the role, and this is the first thing I see, and I'm like, I don't know what this means, but this is such a lovely coincidence. And I was just stoked.
It means something.
So yeah, I bought this a year ago, and I brought this with me now with one serving left, and I was I just left the last one in because I wanted to drink it when the episode comes out, but I wasn't sure if it will expire by then or not, and we checked, and it expires next week.
So 1 serving, 1 week, 1 year. Coincidence?
X-Files music here. So yeah.
You can edit it.
Yes. Yes. So shall we continue?
Let's shall.
Okay. So
you have range. I really liked your range.
Thank you. Here's the thing. To me, they all my voices always sound like me, but people tell me that sometimes they don't sound like me, and I'm like, really? To me, they all sound like me.
This sounds like a tiny version of you. It sounds like a tiny person. Because Waldo is a tiny person. Is a tiny person inside a large page, and the character you act as if it is a tiny. It's so tiny, and he's so energetic. So, if I had to imagine how the character of Waldo or Wally actually sound like, it would be about this.
Okay, I wasn't going for tiny necessarily, but sure. I'm glad you like the energetic vibe.
Yeah.
All right, so
let's hear Walter's story.
Yes.
You've had the induction.
Speaking of which, what's your story, Walter? How did you come to the Amelia Project?
I thought we had business to discuss.
Let's get to know each other a bit first.
Very well. But do you mind if we walk and talk? We could take a stroll around the market.
Shouldn't we go somewhere a bit more secluded?
The crowd affords the best anonymity.
Very well.
Hiding in plain sight.
As a student in Jerusalem, I spotted a faded sticker above a urinal in a club. It showed a cup with steam rising from it. I thought it was a coffee brand or something. Then I noticed the steam formed the shape of a phoenix, and there was a ring of Morse code around it. Now, I've always loved puzzles, so I took a picture of the image, and the next day figured it out. The Morse code spelled out a telephone number. I rang it, and
the Morse code
offering the Amelia Project services. I thought it was a hoax, but I stored the number in my phone anyway, just in case. Then, a few years later, I rang the number again. This time, hoping against all odds it was real. I was so surprised when just half an hour later there was a knock on my door. Patuach?
Hello, Ephraim Khan?
Please, call me Effie. You are?
Amelia, from the Amelia Project.
Holy shit!
You did call us, didn't you?
Yes, but that was half an hour ago. I didn't expect you to be this quick.
Luckily, I happen to be in your corner of the world, Good timing, actually. I was about to fly home when my colleague from London called and told me about your request.
I made you miss your flight? Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, I fly my own plane.
You do?
That's what brought me here. The Tel Aviv International Air Show. But enough about me. What's with this place?
We have an international air show?
There are posters
I thought
of
that
Where's
too.
Waldo everywhere.
Yes. Do you like them?
You've got a Where's Waldo coffee mug, a Where's Waldo laptop case, a Where's Waldo pen holder. There's a half-finished Where's Waldo jigsaw puzzle on your desk next to the... What's that in the petri dish?
Eyeballs. I'm dissecting eyeballs.
Right. There's a Where's Waldo screensaver on your computer, a Where's Waldo mousepad, is that a Where's Waldo cover for your microscope? And all the Where's Waldo books in what seems like a dozen different languages on your bookshelf.
Waldo, Wally, Willy, Valdi, Ketty, Hugo, Jura, Valu, Holger. He's a global phenomenon, you know.
What's his name in Hebrew?
Effie.
Your name.
Yes.
So you feel an affinity to the character of Waldo?
Waldo is my
Affinity
life.
to Effie.
Oh.
Affinity.
What's wrong?
Sorry, it's just... When my colleague told me about an urgent call from the Techion in Haifa, I was expecting a scientist or something. I don't mean to be rude, but we are a very exclusive service, and if I'd known the nature of your research...
I am a scientist.
Specialized in what? Pop culture? Children's books?
I'm talking to
Neuroscience.
Really?
Yes.
I find that hard to believe.
You reported separately?
Your office is a frickin' shrine to Where's Waldo? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be disrespectful. It's perfectly possible to be both a neuroscientist and a Where's Waldo fanboy, I suppose. I'm just surprised.
That's okay. But you see, Where's Waldo is what brought me here.
Explain.
My parents gave me my first Waldo book when I was 6, and it was love at first sight.
Why? What attracted you to it?
I don't know. Something about the crowds and chaos and color. My parents worked in the shuk, you see. That's the marketplace. They had a fruit and vegetable stall there. I basically grew up on the shuk, always surrounded by thousands of people. I used to find being alone really scary. I would lie awake at night, terrified of the silence and solitude, counting the hours until the world woke up and the streets filled with noise and cars and chatter again. But the Waldo books cured my fear of solitude. Whenever I felt anxious, I opened a Waldo book and lost myself in the wonderful depth and detail of those crowds.
You must have become quite the expert at spotting Waldo.
Yes, and once I'd found Waldo, Wenda, Whitebeard, and Wolf Stale on every page, I gave the books to my friends and watched as they searched. I noticed their eyes twitched and how the twitching got faster as they found Waldo. What I was observing were microsaccades, though I didn't know that at the time, of course.
Huh. So the books instilled in you a fascination for the process of cognitive perception, which led you to become a neuroscientist.
Exactly. For my PhD, I conducted an experiment in which I gave participants scenes from a Where's Waldo book, then measured their eye movements as they scanned the pages. I was able to analyze the function of saccades, vengeance, and vestibulocular movement in visual search. You're fixating too much.
Sorry?
You're trying to find Waldo on the beach, aren't you? You have to stop fixating and allow your eyes to settle into a slow tracking movement.
Like this?
Better. It takes a lot of practice for the eyes to perform a smooth pursuit movement in the absence of a moving target, but once you achieve this, your capacity for visual search increases dramatically.
Found him.
This is a hell of a
Judy box
script.
in the man sunbathing.
Bravo!
I know.
Let's punch in Judy. Never mind. You know that because of this scene...
Oh, they kept on
Waldo is
joking.
on the American
Library Association's list of top 100 banned books?
Really? Why?
There's a picture of a woman lying on her towel topless. They covered her up in 1997, but this poster is taken from the original.
Well, Effie, I'll gladly concede that I underestimated both you and Where's Waldo. But I still don't understand why you need to disappear.
2 nights ago, I was visited by a Russian businessman. He was wearing this flashy silk cravat with black and yellow stripes. Said his name was Mikhail. That's all
Black
I
and
got.
yellow stripes.
No surname, just Mikhail. He said he was a big admirer of my work and wanted to fund it.
That's nice.
How the hell did he know about my work, though? It
I
hasn't
didn't
been published in
catch
any
that.
scientific journals. My research is in its infancy.
And you said
Outside
it.
of a few colleagues here at Haifa, nobody knows who I am or what I'm doing.
Did you ask how he found out about you?
I did.
And what did he say?
I have eyes everywhere.
Ominous.
He said he could give me a research facility in Moscow.
That was your line.
I just needed to board his private jet, and he'd provide me with all the resources I could dream of.
But you mistrusted him. You suspected he had hidden motives?
There was nothing hidden about them.
Oh, what did he want?
I want more eyes.
Excuse me?
He wanted me to collaborate with a robotics engineer also working in Moscow.
A robotics engineer?
To develop a machine that can see as well as a human and easily identify targets.
Wow. What did you say?
I said I needed time to consider,
I will come back in 3 days.
he said.
That's tomorrow.
I loved recording the Mikhail lines.
decided?
Yes.
I want nothing to do with this man or his army of perceptive robots. ראיתי מספיק סרטי מדע כדי לדעת לאן זה הולך.
And what do you think he'll do if you decline?
I'd rather not find out.
You know, Effie, our services should only ever be used as a last resort. This
it's so
sounds
nice.
more like a case for the police.
You don't understand who I'm dealing with. A man with a private jet.
It's so nice hearing your own language in the podcast when they intentionally don't translate other languages.
Yeah.
Like all the scenes in Russian and in Spanish and in French, and like we get a line in Hebrew. Yeah! Am Israel Chai, Am Israel Chai.
It's like funny story. The way my role here even came about was that back like in season, I think it was 2. At the end of it was at the end of season 2.
All the spies from different
they
countries.
mentioned that spies from all over the world were listening into these recordings, and they mentioned a bunch of countries, and one of them was Israel. And at the end of the episode, you hear spies from those countries talking among themselves, and it goes like country to country to country. And I can't wait to hear Israel, and Israel never shows up. And I'm like, and I message them, and I go like, "Yo, the Amelia Project, I love what you do. I love your podcast so much. I couldn't help but notice you didn't have a recording for the Hebrew part, and I don't know where you're going with this in the next season, but like if you need like a line or two recorded in Hebrew, I'd love to record it for you." And sent them like a voice reel that I basically made up on the spot. I didn't have any roles at the time. I basically just invented a bunch of different roles to record, and they were like, "Oh, we are actually already recording season 3, but like we'll keep you in mind." And like a year later, like exactly a year ago, in last March,
1 year.
a year ago, in March, I get a message like, "Hey, do you still want to record lines?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yes, yes, yes."
Wow. So I said before that you had range in the opening scene in London, but this really, like, you go from nostalgic to Russian, like all the spectrum of emotions, including Russian.
Wow.
And the Hebrew jokes for the shuk. Haifa Technion, Hebrew references and Israeli references, and A for Effie. Oh my God, A for Effie.
I will say this: if I remember correctly, Effie was originally in the script, and I'm like, when she addresses him, she should address him as Ephraim, because that's like the official name, because Effie is like a nickname.
Yeah, like Dick and Robert.
Richard, I think.
Dick and Richard, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
which I still don't get, but sure. But yeah, so like it's just like, yeah. So sorry, I'm really excited.
It's okay.
I've been waiting a year for
and
this.
since that really you already had parts in other podcasts.
Yes.
So that really took you places.
Yeah, I mean, getting into voice acting as a result of doing that voice reel and stuff got me places for sure. I don't think anyone hired me because of my part in the Amelia Project, because that's literally coming out tomorrow.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So this thing helped you even before the episode came out. So it's like amazing.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful for them, and they're such nice people too. They're so nice. Let's keep listening.
Yes.
Oh, and I just love that they kept one of my jokes in like the script. In the script, Amelia mentions Punch and Judy, and I'm supposed to record a reaction. And in just one of the takes, at the end of the take, I go, "What's Punch and Judy?" And I heard that they kept that in.
I can't believe you missed the black and yellow stripes.
I know,
joke.
right? That's
You
why
said
I
it.
Oh my god! Like, how did I not catch that? I assumed rather than being a Waldo joke, I assumed it was like a reference to something that happens in a previous episode that I don't have the script for, or like that his look is established already or something. But now that you mention it, I'm like, this actually.
I
like,
don't know
wow.
the character's name. I don't know the evil Waldo name.
Yeah, what is his name?
Evil Waldo. But who cares?
Even if I remembered it, I'd be remembering
Mikhail.
Even if I remembered it, I'd be remembering like the Hebrew version, because that's the version I grew up on. I don't know if I even know the English word for him.
Yappa.
Yappa?
Effie, backwards.
And now that we paused, I can say there are so many takes of me flubbing those science speak lines.
Oh yeah, I want to ask you.
Like the recording is like, what I was observing were microscopic. What I was observing were microscopic. What I was expecting. I'm a scientist.
Science good.
Yeah, there's just so many takes like that.
I want all the bloopers. I want the blooper reel.
Sure. All right, let's continue.
ראיתי מספיק סרטי מדע כדי לדעת לאן זה הולך.
And what do you think he'll do if you decline?
I'd rather not find out.
You know, Effie, our services should only ever be used as a last resort. This sounds more like a case for the police.
You don't understand who I'm dealing with. A man with a private jet and unlimited funds who dabbles in world-changing technology for personal pleasure, and you want me to call the police?
You've got a point.
So you'll help me disappear?
Are you sure you want to give everything up and start afresh? You won't be able to continue your research.
I have a restless spirit, just like Waldo. I'll put my possessions in a backpack and I'm ready for new adventures. Could you set me up with a new life in England?
The weather is terrible and the food is even worse.
It's the home of Martin Handford.
Who?
The author of the Wally books?
You mean Waldo?
It's Wally in the original.
Well, seeing as I'm about to fly back to London, setting you up in England is the easiest option.
Perfect!
Any thoughts on your new identity?
Well...
Yes?
I mean...
Oh, no, you are not suggesting we bring you back as...
Why not? I've studied him for so long that slipping into his skin would feel natural.
We can't bring you back as a fictional character.
Why not?
Fictional characters are a lot of trouble.
But any new identity I adopt would be a fiction anyway, wouldn't it? So why not Waldo?
Copyright issues.
No. Copyright Mizulgag.
However, while you can't actually be Waldo, there's nothing to stop you from dressing like Waldo. If you want to spend your leisure time wearing a stripy shirt, horn-rimmed glasses, and a bobble hat, sitting in airports and public squares, then that's your prerogative, I suppose.
And can I be called Wally?
We're getting close to copyright infringement.
Walter.
Okay, then.
Walter. I like it.
You'll need a job. I might have something for you.
No? What's that?
Are you squeamish?
Well, I spent my studies dissecting eyeballs, so...
Good. How would you like to be head of corpses?
That's a job?
At the Amelia Project it is.
But the corpse already have a head.
Wait, you mean I'd be working for you?
If you work for us, your disappearance is on the house.
And if I don't?
It will set you back 80 grand. I'd take the job.
I don't know.
Unless you have a trust fund or something, of course. I just assume...
No. I do not have the money.
Then what's there to think about?
Well, the whole reason I'm doing this is to escape the employ of one shady character. Now it seems the only way I can do that is by working for another.
It's a world full of irony. Well, I want to fly home tomorrow. I need a decision now. I realize I might have come off a bit blunt. I'm out of practice doing these
Did you have
interviews.
Amelia's
You're like my
lines?
colleagues, I promise. They're very lovely. And we have an unlimited supply of cocoa.
Cocoa?
And Maltesers.
Maltesers?
See? Not really that shady at all.
The job is to deal with corpses, you said?
They're discreet procurement and transportation. You'll bring corpses to our lab, then, once our surgeon has worked his magic, to wherever our client wants to be found washed up, stabbed, shot, trampled on, or incinerated. Oh, and you'll also spend 2 nights a week in the pathology lab at St. Thomas Hospital.
That's not my field.
Oh, we don't need a real pathologist, just somebody who can deal with the requisite paperwork.
It's all fake?
Of course.
But in a real hospital?
The administrator owes us. Don't worry. He'll only assign you a select few cases, those relating to us. You'll work discreetly and on your own. Night shifts.
You
said you wanted excitement. It doesn't get any more
Name
exciting
drop.
than forging autopsy reports and hiding corpses in caves, chimneys, and bank vaults.
It sounds dangerous.
An interesting life can always use a little seduction, confidence, ambition, and danger.
Right.
So, which should it be? Russian robots or cocoa and corpses?
Well, I trust you more than I trust Mikhail.
So we have a deal?
We have a deal.
Good choice. You won't regret it. And look, I have something here to seal the deal.
Oh, what's that?
Veuve Clicquot. I always carry a mini bottle in my handbag.
You do?
You never know when the occasion might call for it. Have you got glasses?
No, I've got a Where's Waldo coffee mug and one clean Petri dish.
That'll do.
Here, you can have the Waldo mug.
There we go. Cheers.
L'chaim.
Now, we need to figure out how to get you safely to my plane. Mikhail has eyes everywhere, you said?
There's been a man following me around for the past 2 days. He appears the minute I step out of the institute. I can feel him behind me on the bus, in the cinema, in the queue at the Schuppelsaal.
We just need to get you to my plane, and I can fly you discreetly out of the country.
Where's your plane?
Still in Tel Aviv. I took the bus to get here. Oh, that bus station? Very confusing.
The Tel Aviv Central Bus Station? It's the most confusing place in Israel.
Seems like it was designed by Escher on hard drugs.
Is that your
joke?
joke?
It was actually designed that way so people would have difficulty finding the exits and spend more time in the shops. Then, years of haphazard reconstruction made it even more confusing until it became the sprawling mess it is today. We used to call it the White Elephant.
Anyway, I think it's the perfect place for you to disappear. In that maze, you'll shake off your followers in no time.
Yes, but I'll get lost
This
myself.
is the Tommy and the
Last time I
Walter.
walked the concrete corridors for hours and somehow ended up in an abandoned area taken over by bats. Anyway, I doubt they'll let me travel to Tel Aviv. My disappearance has to take place in Haifa.
Very well. Let me think. I'll need a bit more champagne. You were raised in the Shuk, you said? You're still familiar with it?
Know it like the back of my hand.
When is the Shuk at its busiest?
Friday, when everyone shops for Shabbat.
Excellent. Tomorrow morning, you will head to the Shuk. You'll flit from stall to stall, left, right, U-turn, weaving in and out of the masses.
Like in a Wall-E scene.
You immerse yourself in the bustle, always choosing the busiest alleys, never using the direct route. You pick up pace, then break into a sprint, duck, roll under one of the stalls, emerge from the other side, and continue to run. Run, run, run. Run like your life depends on it.
Where did he go?
Fuck.
He's disappeared.
He can't be far. You go that way, Cole. I'll look over here.
There's a lot of swear words in this episode. More than usual.
You know how we Israelis are.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Get out of my way.
Is that Mikhail's name?
It's Colin Haynes.
Oh, the douche?
What? No, Cole and Haynes, the agents.
Oh.
From the beginning of the episode.
I'll help you, mate. No, you can't fucking help me. Just piss off.
Okay. You need to see someone, mate.
Cole? Nah, me neither. He tricked us. We shouldn't have followed him into this labyrinth. Anyway, where the fuck are you? What do you mean by the postcard stand? I can see at least 10 different... See?
Hey, you're gonna have to
I walked into a fucking postcard stand. You're gonna have to be more specific. A Pillock Theatre shop? Pollock Theatre? What the fuck is a Pollock Theatre? A W.H. Smith's? That's better. Okay. Meet you on the balcony above the W.H. Smith's.
That's too much panting.
Was a lot shorter in the script. Can say that much.
Script pant for 5 fucking minutes.
You made it.
How many fucking steps was that?
That's worth it. For the view.
The view? Fucking hell, Cole. We just suffered the biggest kick in the bollocks
Shut
since...
up, Haynes. We have to look.
What? It's pointless. We're never going to spot him again in that crowd.
We have to focus.
Oh yeah. You're sounding like him.
Here.
Binoculars? Where did you get those from?
These are opera glasses from that gift shop.
Oh, plasticky tourist shit. You got ripped off.
Well, it's better than nothing. Now, please, Haynes, concentrate. You look left,
Okay.
I look right.
Okay. After this...
You're obsessing too hard.
The stiffest of stiff drinks. Okay, I'm gonna need a fucking pint of gin.
Shush.
I can't believe we screwed this up.
How do you make an audio podcast about looking?
Haynes!
What, you found him?
No.
Then what?
Look over there.
Okay.
By the Pret-a-Manger.
Okay. Oh. No way.
That's Mia and Jackie.
And Kozlowski. Not dead. Kozlowski isn't... Oh, bloody hell.
What are Mia and Jackie doing wandering around central London with Kozlowski?
I don't know.
We have to follow them.
Quick.
Stay tuned for the epilogue, but first the credits. This episode was written and edited by Philip Thorne, with story editing by Øystein Braga, sound design by Dominic Hargreaves, and music by Frederick Barden. Walter was played by Tommy Zandstein, also known as Tomix. Tomix is an Israeli cartoonist who has created a special Spot Walter image for this episode. We'll be posting that for patrons and may put it up in our...
I haven't drawn a comic in months.
You can also check out Tomix's work on most social media under Tomix Comics. The episode also featured Torgny G. Ondero as Cole.
Nice! So all those Reddit about it was research.
Sort of.
And a special shout out
saw it in a suggested video, and I was like, hey, that's relevant to what I'm doing. Might as well.
Jem Fiddick, Alban, Sant, Amelie and Alison, Stephanie,
Wow.
Hiller, Minson-Such, Rafael, Eduardo Vifas Ferrastaki,
And J.K. Robbins. Thank you. For merchandise, transcripts, and ways to support the show, visit ameliapodcast.com. And now, the epilogue.
Mikhail, it's Boris. I have some bad news. I lost track of Effie in Sultan He disappeared, vanished into thin air. I've checked with all of our eyes in Haifa and beyond. Nobody in Israel has seen him. Yes. He can't have done this on his own. Somebody must have helped him. I don't know who. Yes, I will find out. Oh, and Mikhail, about that job as head of security. I understand. Of course, you must get your revenge, Mikhail. Of course. Goodbye. Have a nice...
I just had a fucking realization. Another thing I should have probably realized way sooner. He's going to find out who helped him disappear. This was a flashback. Presumably this happens before season 3.
Okay.
That's how he knew to get the interviewer. And put him in Golovin.
Yeah.
I just realized that. Oh my god.
This has been a journey for all of us.
For what?
All of us.
Seriously. Like, oh my gosh. Also to those watching the video, like, I want to dedicate this video to Maya, my friend who I would love to have here listening to this with us. Don't make it sound like that. But I'm kind of playing a really long prank on her. Basically, there was a time when... anytime I try to tell her what's going on in my life, she already knew because I post a lot on social media and she follows me on social media. So, like, she knew. So when I landed my first voice acting roles, I kind of recommended them to her just without mentioning that I'm in them. And she listened to them and she didn't recognize my voice. So I was like, oh my God. Let's see how long I can drag this out for.
And it's not like they say your name in the credits.
Yeah, in that episode they didn't. In that show until the season finale, which she just didn't listen to. And I was like, okay. By then I had already landed the Amelia role, and I know that she listens to the Amelia Project. And like, so I was like, okay, she's gonna find out like that, and that's still unfolding. I don't know how it's gonna go. Like,
is she going to recognize your voice from the get-go, from in the middle, or just like, wait, what did you just say in the credits?
Yeah, like, or I don't know. Like, she's catching up on a bunch of shows, like one podcast at a time. Right now, she's listening to Midnight Burger. And like, for all I know, like tomorrow there could be a post on Facebook that I'm tagged in and she sees it. I don't know. I'm trying not to get my hopes up too much, but like in my head, I'm imagining it as like, I'm just minding my own business one day when suddenly I'm getting like a WhatsApp, like, you're Walter? Like, you're in the Amelia Project and you didn't tell me? Like, yeah. So yeah, that's like a prank, like nearly 2 years in the making now.
Oh yeah.
So
that is not your first time traveling prank, but that's a different story for a different video.
That's for my comic book.
Yeah. And which you can buy at comicscomics.com.
comics-comics.com / English if you
if you're into that language.
So that was Walter, the episode.
No. Tell us about the Find Walter thing you made.
How about I show it to you? Right. So the video cut out right when we were observing the drawing. But yeah, that's that episode of the Amelia Project, Walter, and it's going up tomorrow. And people are gonna be hearing me talk to Amelia, me talking to Julia, which is an actress I admire from both this and the Bright Sessions. Like,
yeah, we're both huge fans.
Yeah,
big fans, and
also like when they announced the cast for, first of all, when they announced the cast for this season on Twitter, like. They were going like name by name, and it was like, here's this lady. She was in this bunch of podcasts that are really famous, and she's done theater. And here's Rami that plays Kozlovsky, and he's a famous Turkish actor. And here's like a bunch of, and here's Tomix, and I'm just like. Thinking of that one moment in the original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory where Willy Wonka's just going between them and he's like, oh, so you basically cheated the system to be here, and you ate a lot of candy to be here, and et cetera, and then he goes to Charlie and he's like, and you're just lucky to be here, aren't you? And I'm like, that's how I feel. And especially when, or like the name right before mine on the list is Beth Eyre, which is a voice actress in Wooden Overcoats. And her voice acting is amazing and hilarious. She is so good. She is so good. And like having her name like right before mine on the list, and I'm like, holy shit.
Wow. So they did publish your name somewhere on the web.
Yeah. I'm on their Twitter. I'm on their site.
And no one that you know noticed yet.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, Maya's the only one I hid it from. So like, I mean, no one I know. No one's mentioned it to me that they like ran into it on Twitter or on their site. But not yet.
So, but after this episode comes out,
possibly. Who knows? We'll see. I'm so excited.
You'll have to put on a real striped shirt and a palm hat.
Yeah, I don't think I didn't consider it.
Just to run away from the crowd.
Just a shame hats don't really fit this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was thinking of like, I don't know, maybe I should try to find like how to dress up as him as cosplay for the conventions.
I don't think it's that difficult.
It is when you don't want to die of heat out in the sun.
Yeah, cosplays are not for the Israeli weather. All the cosplays I ever had, like jackets and long sleeves. I need to find a character like that dresses with a t-shirt.
That's why the last cosplay I did was like Steven Universe. It's just like he's wearing a t-shirt and jeans.
Too many characters wear jackets.
True.
We're rambling.
Yeah. Thank you for watching us listening.
Thank you for listening to us watching.
Yes, and come and find me.